This week I want to talk to you about a growth mindset and how having one can really accelerate your progress on whatever it is that you're working on right now. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Simon Phillips, and my mission in life is to help people cope with change and thrive on it and make the best of every opportunity that's available to them. So today is all about a fundamental piece in that jigsaw, which is a growth mindset. And to help us understand it, let's look at the opposite end of the spectrum, and that's what's known as a fixed mindset. You'll recognize people with a fixed mindset because they have a firm belief that we all have an innate set of skills and attributes that we either have them or we don't. And if we don't, that's our tough luck. There's nothing we can do about it. At the other end of the scale is what I want to talk today about, which is this growth mindset. Somebody with a growth mindset actually believes we can do anything to transform ourselves. We may have some knowledge right now, we can build more. We may have some skills right now, we can acquire more. We may have some things that are holding us back, we can break through that and we can create a different life for ourselves. And that's the type of mindset of someone who believes that anything is possible. A growth mindset means that you're constantly on the lookout for new strategies, for new skills, tools and techniques, anything that will help you to get better. And a growth mindset is firmly rooted in that concept of anything is possible and I can get better. With some hard work and some diligence and some consistency, then anything is possible. And if you have a growth mindset, you're open to the idea of acquiring a mentor. So from early on in my career, I've had mentors every step of the way. I'm always trying to tap into people who have more skills than I have, more experience in a certain area, or more knowledge of something that I don't currently know about, because a mentor is an accelerated route to that information and that experience. So basically you're tapping into somebody else's knowledge and wealth of experience to accelerate your own progress along that road. So all of us should be getting there a lot quicker than the people that preceded us because they've had to acquire that knowledge. If we can tap into them, it's a shortcut. And so my very first mentor was somebody who was probably about 10 years ahead of me in business. And he had just what seemed like an endless book of sayings and things that for him were now second nature, but for me were totally new. And that person was always investing in me that concept of anything is possible and we can all get better. And I've 100% bought into that concept and have followed it ever since, and I try to pass it on to the people that I support. So if you are of that mindset of anything's possible, then grab yourself a mentor. It doesn't have to be somebody formal. Some of my current mentors don't even know they're a mentor of mine, but I'm closely observing what they're doing. I ask them questions and I try to understand how it is they're navigating certain aspects of their career so that I can do the same and replicate that. Sometimes a mentor is not necessarily providing you with new information. Sometimes they're just confirming that the things that you're doing are exactly what you should be doing and they're taking you in the right direction. So that's what a mentor can do for you. If you don't have one, seek one out. Most people are really glad to help, especially if they sense that you're there to try and learn and to try and progress your own career. So let's have a think about how we can acquire this growth mindset. Because even if we have the belief that anything's possible and that we can get better, but we're not actively doing anything about it, then effectively we're still holding ourselves back and potentially welding ourselves to more of a fixed mindset than we would like. So the way to access a growth mindset is through possibility thinking, which is basically two words: what if. If we can just ask ourselves, what if, when we are faced with a challenge, then actually we can start to spin it around and reframe it. We've talked about reframing before. So with those words, what if, we can start to access possibilities. We can start to access the potential, not just of ourselves, but of the teams that we're leading, of the groups that we're involved in. This is where you start to hear very subtle differences in the language that people use. So people who are possibility thinkers, people who are happy and comfortable with the concept of what if, they don't necessarily talk about problems. They talk about challenges, because a challenge comes with it a seed of opportunity, a seed of possibility, whereas a problem means that I'm still focused on the things that are holding me back. If I reframe that as a challenge, just subtle difference, if I reframe it as a challenge, then all of a sudden I'm open to the what ifs of the situation. Another one that you'll hear people talk about a lot is they reframe every failure to a learning opportunity. So instead of thinking of themselves and holding themselves back with a concept of I failed again, they just tune that instead to the concept of there's something to learn here, and then they're moving forward again. So all of this possibility thinking is just a mechanism for moving us forward. The second strategy, on the face of it, looks a bit more passive, but in reality is just as powerful. And this one is where we spend some time noticing the way we think about things, and we're noticing the way we feel about things. If we spend some time meditating on that, which is literally no more than just resting, sitting, thinking about the way we think about things, thinking about the way we feel about things, and noticing when we are maybe veering towards a more fixed mindset, can we change that around? The fixed mindset comes with it some heavy emotions, and it feels like what I call the cyclone of doom. We're all doomed, I tell you. It's basically where our thoughts get spiraling down to a place where we can no longer get back out of it almost. So when we're noticing these on an ongoing basis, we can shortcut it. And when we get to that initial recognition of, no, my mind's going off in the wrong direction, we can pull that back if we form this habit of observing our thinking and observing our feelings, almost in the moment. If you don't spot it in the moment, at the end of the day, do some reflection. Were there times today when I was in that space where my thinking was more fixed than it would ideally have been? If I can spot those opportunities and start to reframe them, how can I think about that differently? What are the opportunities for me to think more abundantly about what's possible? How can I reframe that and ask myself what if questions rather than get stuck with a thought process that's not moving me forward at all? So that's the second strategy I recommend to you in terms of starting to develop a growth mindset. Catch yourself in the moment, and if you miss it, reflect later and think, how could that have been a bit different? Okay, I hope that's helpful and useful for you. If you enjoyed it, press the like button, let me know that this is working for you, and please subscribe, because I'm here every week and you'll get advanced notification of when we go live with these new videos. And finally, please do share this with your friends, because that's the way we can spread some great information that people can thrive on and hopefully do something magic with. Have a great week, and I'll see you here next time. Take care.